You're watching This Day Live. Our next guests have been pioneering new dance in the UK as creative directors for a series of events and productions. Tanya Diggory of the company United Grooves and Omari Motion Carter, a hip-hop dance creator, are now working up their next chapter in their careers. Before we meet them, though, let's take a look at some of their work. Omari, welcome to Arise. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So, I mean, some of the work we just saw there, tell us a bit about that and how that sort of came about, really, the inspiration behind it.
Well, that actual work there is part of the Motion Dance Collective, which is my screen dance company.
Yeah.
And we're collaborating with PhD events to make, to film the festival and also provide a workshop in hip hop for the screen.
Okay, tell us a bit more about the PhD festival then, what it's all about. That's your creation, isn't it, Tanya?
Yes, that's correct. So PhD stands for Pioneers History Dance, and it's a festival that we launched in 2013. So we're in our third year now, which is really exciting, and it's about providing a platform for UK and international artists who are pioneering art forms. So it's celebrating and educating hip-hop culture and dance, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what gave you the sort of impetus to come up with that then? What made you start this festival?
Well, I'm a dance teacher and I've run my company for 5 years. So through doing a lot of workshops myself and training and encouraging my students to learn from loads of different teachers as well, I just thought it was a really exciting opportunity to create a platform to bring lots of different elements together. So we provide workshops, panel discussions, film screenings, performances, an art exhibition as well. So it's a lot of things going on, but it helps people understand the roots of where hip-hop and different street dance forms came from and how they're being pioneered forward today.
And Omari, a lot of your work taps into that, doesn't it? Street dance and I guess you could say illustrative work and film as
definitely.
well.
I think it looks at how we can take the hip hop culture and dances within the hip hop diaspora and transfer that into the screen space. So it's quite a new thing that's been happening, but I think a lot of people are starting to do it now, and it's nice to be able to try and tell stories through that new medium because we're in this new technological era. So it's really exciting to be able to try and make that transition and try and form this hybrid. So it's been really nice.
Okay. What sort of work have you done that has used all sort of those ideas and skills, do you think?
Well, we've collaborated with animators, body percussionists, and trying to find interesting stories working with different artists. So I think the joy of it is working through collaboration similar to PhD and finding new ways that we can explore our art and our artistry through these new mediums and these new realms. So each of the pieces that we make have always been very different, but it's been nice to try and find our voice through that.
Yeah, and you've worked with Stomp as well, haven't you, which is the touring percussion-based sort of instrumental kind of group, which is fantastic.
Definitely, I've done that for a few years now alongside the dance film, so it's been a really nice journey through both of those things, so it's been really nice.
A good friend of mine does that, actually, Nigel.
Nigel, awesome, cool.
He's a really good guy,
he's cool. He's like my big brother as well, we call him Long Dread,
but no, I mean, it's such a wonderful, like, kind of collaboration of dance and music and art in that, and that's the sort of thing that the festival is going to be looking at, isn't it? So what sort of things do people bring to the table when they come and perform at the festival?
Well, like I say, there's a lot of different activities that go on, so it really depends. We're very much about showcasing what's, like I say, where different dance forms have come from and how they have been developed, but also with regards to different elements of hip hop, so rap music, DJing, graffiti art, and so we have like an archive exhibition, for example, called B-Boy Documents, curated by Mark Courtney and DJ Fingers. So that sort of helps give context to, a lot of different club nights that went on in the 80s, 90s, 90s hip hop, different footage, that kind of thing. We've also got great panel discussions with people like Rodney P from London Posse, who's a pioneering rapper in the UK, and they've got a new film coming out called Under the Influence. We're previewing that. Also previewing a film called The Twilight Firm, which documents pioneering beat producers from the UK. So we've got all these real heavyweights from hip hop, UK hip hop. And then alongside that, you've got people who are sort of innovating art forward, like dance workshops. We've got Meech coming over from France. We've got Paradigms, who's a UK pioneer in dance hall art form. And then we've got Omari, who's really innovating the screen dance opportunity in the UK, and working that within hip hop and creating a really bespoke workshop around that.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting.
So there's many cultures and many ideas that are brought together at this festival, and I think that when you look at some of the films that are out there and some of the TV dramas that are out there as well, it's very popular, isn't it? Do you find that it's a really, I guess you could say, very popular sort of movement at the moment, with people wanting to get involved in this type of area because of what they see on TV and what they see in the media? I think
it's very important, and I think what's nice is that with this festival in particular is that you learn a little bit about where the hip hop has come from to know where it's going now. So I think it's very important to always stress the history of something, and it has such a rich history and a young history as well, and you can still speak to some of the people who have made the styles and pioneered some of the work, where in other dance forms it's not that possible. You have to read books and do other things. So I think it's really nice that this kind of highlights that, and also allows you to look at how people are taking it forward into new journeys, new places.
And it's such an evolving industry and kind of culture as well. Some people's version or thought of hip hop will be completely different to another person's.
Yeah, it's a very personal thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head when you said it's a cultural thing. Like sort of the roots of hip hop come from New York. It's only about 40 odd years ago. It's really young, but it's influenced like countries around the world. It's quite an amazing thing if you think about it. It's like a movement, and we've been really privileged to have people such as Poppin' Pete, Mr. Wiggles, Brooklyn Terry. They came last year, and we've had members of Elite Force and Electric Boogaloos who are pioneering hip hop dancers from the US. So we've given that sort of platform for people to have a unique opportunity to engage with them and learn from them who are around the scene from the start, and then also giving platform to other artists who have learnt and been influenced from those people, such as Omari, who are now innovating their own company and work.
Some of those names, Tanya, you just mentioned, Omari, how do you think that some of the younger generation will look at those names or take on what they've done and I guess sort of use it as their own sort of influence and inspiration for what they're up to? Do you think that there'll be a lot of connection there?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of a strong connection, and especially because of with social media and YouTube and things like that, we can really watch these guys and see where things came from and learn about those certain moves. And I think in a way with hip hop, you learn the rules in order to break them. So it's nice to be able to meet the people, talk to them about what these rules were and how they broke those rules once they learned them and developed them. So I think it's really important that we stay in tune with the people who made the work and develop it in our own ways and learn how to break the rules for ourselves.
Who do you think is doing that sort of work right now at the moment, and who do you think is really hot at the moment in terms of this industry?
Well, that's a good question. Do you mean sort of companies that are creating work for
artists, or I guess you could say people that things that people would like recognise? What do you think is kind of really good to look out for at the moment if someone is trying to get into this sort of field?
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Convention are a fantastic organisation. They've been going for about 12 years now, and not only the festival that they run every year, but they run educational programmes. They do this great thing called Open Art Surgery, where they get select dancers to come in and create and showcase their work for feedback as well. And it really explores different realms of street dance and what it means and how how they're creating it in their own expression and their own way. So that, for me, they're a great company, and they've been really supportive of what we're doing as well. They're very collaborative, and so for me, they're doing a lot.
I see.
That's headed up by Jonesy D. He's another guy.
I know who that is. Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
a lot of people do.
Yeah, no, he's quite a big name in the London world of hip hop, isn't he? So how did you start then, Omari? How did you get into it all?
Well, I started doing street dance theatre and working in that and working community dance, and then I guess after joining the show, I wanted to do something that was flexible and that I could work with, and film was one of those things. So I think from working in music videos as well and doing other things like that, I think I wanted something that was a little more dance specific, and realising that there was an actual industry called screen dance where people were just making work with dance and the camera really attracted me to what is this new form. So after studying for a couple of years and going to festivals and meeting new people, there are actually so many people from all over the world that are practicing it. So to this day, I'm still learning new things and finding new things. And similar to hip hop, it's a very personal journey. So everyone does it in their own different way. But I think the joy is trying to find a discourse where everyone can discuss and find a common language with these hybrid forms or even these new art forms. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think video content is so important these days as well, and it's becoming more and more popular and significant for people to share their work. And so, you know, also documenting things such as within hip hop culture, you know, how we, you know, make things last, how people will learn from where it came from to where it is now, and how really key figures within the industry will be documented. I think is really important. So with what Omari's doing with, you know, his dance film works and other, you know, creative projects, it's really great to work with them because, you know, they're also filming our whole festival as well as Omari teaching the workshop. So it's a really collaborative, you know, way of working together. And, you know, alongside also the guys we're working with who are screening the documentaries at the film. It's just it seems like that's starting to happen a lot more now. People are starting to document work that happened and what's happening now. So that's really exciting.
What do you want people to take away from it then, who go? What do you think that what would you like them to sort of come away saying or talking about?
I mean, in terms of the festival, it's a really great networking ground. So, I mean, as well as for people who are just fans of hip hop and dance and music and want to just come and enjoy themselves, it's great for professionals as well who are looking to, you know, excel in their career by learning from the best, you know, some of the best that's out there, and just for people to be inspired in some way and moved from what they experience. It's important for us.
And when's it happening and where's it happening again?
So it's this weekend, this weekend, 25th to the 27th of September. So we start on Friday night at 8 o'clock, starting with a dance battle at Studio B.
Oh wow!
Should be really
Standard
fun.
procedures, as you do. Start with a dance battle always.
That's a good way to get people in, isn't it?
Yeah, of course.
And whereabouts? Say that's again, Studio.
So that's Studio B. Everything's taking place in Brixton across 3 venues. So we've got Studio B, and we've got Black Cultural Archives during the day with loads going on. That's our main festival hub day.
Great.
And they're our learning partner, so we're working a lot with them. And then we're at the Ritzy upstairs bar and at the cinema over the weekend, and then the workshops take place at Studio B on Sunday.
Great venues down the road from where I live as well.
Oh, brilliant! You should come down.
I'd love to. Thank you very much.
Well,
yes,
thank you.
Thank you very much,
Really
Tanya and Omari. Thank you very much indeed.